married for this.
Finger is ate too much salt. My finger's so-
It's like,
I'm done with this.
done with that for now. Great, perfect.
Good to go.
Okay, you have 5 o'clock, sir.
Okay. Good,
Yep.
okay. This is the scheduled time for a conditional use hearing regarding the applicant Jeremy Smail. This is regarding the property at 163 Hill Road in the township of Gilpin, Armstrong County, PA 15656. Sharon, do you mind, or do you want me to do it? Take roll call?
I can do it.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Sure. Gary Hall?
Here.
I don't say Jeremy, Larry.
No, Jeremy.
Okay.
I will add for the record, the applicant is Jeremy Smail. Jeremy is also a member of the Gilpin Township Board of Commissioners. However, he's, as applicant, he can't obviously participate in the hearing portion of this as well.
Tina Thompson?
Here.
Kevin Miller?
Here.
Charles Stahl?
Here.
Tim Miller?
I'm here.
Sharon Long? Here. John Fontaine?
Here.
SARPD.
Okay.
Here.
I know there's a number of people here tonight regarding the public hearing. We're actually going to have 2 public hearings, but we're going to start with 163 Hill Road. So give you an overview of how this works. The applicant has an opportunity to present his argument for whether or not conditional use should be granted. Once he's concluded or rested his case, then anyone who objects to this has the opportunity to speak. I will say, you have to identify yourself and give us your address for the record. We have a court reporter here today. Rule number 1, we can't have people talking at the same time. I get in trouble with this all the time in court, but the court reporter cannot transcribe 2 people talking at the same time. So that's really the big thing for today. I'm gonna have a series of. Oh, are we? Okay, Shirley, go ahead. You can announce that. Or do
Would
it.
you like me to announce that at this
Sure,
time?
sure.
So just for the record, Gilpin Township is live streaming this conditional use hearing.
Thank you, Charlie.
Sorry.
That's okay. I have a series of exhibits I'm going to include for the record today. The first is the conditional use application that was submitted by Jeremy Smail on January 23rd of 2026. I'll mark that as Exhibit A. Now, the copy I have does not indicate whether the Planning Commission approved or denied that. I don't know if Sharon or John, can either of you expand on that?
No, they have not seen it.
Okay, all right. And John, you had received this application as the Code and Zoning Officer for
Yes.
Gilpin Township. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I have a advertising notice that outlines that this conditional use hearing is being conducted today at 5 p.m. here in the Gilpin Township offices. Mark that as Exhibit B. I have the proof of publication indicating that this was in fact advertised. That notice I just referenced was advertised in the Leader Times back in February 25th. I will mark that as Exhibit C. I have a letter that was sent to the applicant Jeremy Smail on February 18th of 2026. Mr. Smail, I generally send these certified mail. I believe you knew of the date and time and were present at the last hearing. Are you willing to waive any certified mail requirements at this time?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll mark Jeremy's letter as Exhibit D. I will do a series of letters that I sent to adjoining neighbors here. We'll do this as collective Exhibit E here. A moment. Okay, so there'll be a letter that was sent to the current resident at 115 Hill Road, 173 Hill Road, 150 Hill Road. Am I doing this backwards? You wanted.
Hill Road.
No, you're ready.
Okay. I have ice pond on one of these. I think I only sent 3 for this. Give me 1 second here. Make sure I got what I need in here. 109 Simon Road, and I believe the rest of these are all for Ice Pond.
Simon
109 Simon
would
would
be Ice
be,
Pond as well.
Okay. Strike that. So it'll be 115 Hill Road, 173 Hill Road, and 150 Hill Road. We'll mark those as joint exhibit E. Make sure I got everything here. One moment. Yeah, I got a lot of them for Ice Pond. Okay. Those are all the exhibits that the board would admit at this time. The request that the applicant had asked for was regarding Hill Road, to permit temporary lodging as outlined in section 404.34 of the Gilpin Township zoning ordinance, specifically creating short-term rental accommodations at 163 Hill Road in Gilpin Township, here in Armstrong County, within the township, obviously. So, that being said, I'm going to ask Mr. Smail a series of questions. He's able to add whatever he likes to the record here, and we'll go from there. All right, Mr. Smail, you are the current owner of this property at 163 Hill Road. Is that correct?
yes,
You and your wife own this property. Is that correct?
yes.
What's her name for the record?
Ashley Coudrier.
You mind spelling the last name?
COUD as in dog, RIET.
And you became owner of this property pursuant to a deed dated December 8th, 2025. Is that correct?
Yes,
And that deed was recorded on December 15th of 2025. Is that correct? To your knowledge?
yes,
Okay. I have that the deed book volume is 5912, and that was page 457. Are you aware of that? Or would you dispute that for any reason?
I would not.
Okay. And the tax map number is 18-198.00-01-50. Do you have any reason to dispute that?
I do not.
So you are in fact the landowner of the property at 163 Hill Road.
Yes.
Okay. What are you looking to do with this property?
Set up an Airbnb.
Okay. Now, under the Gilpin Township zoning ordinance, there's a series of questions and conditions that need to be met. The first would be parking. What's the parking situation at 163 Hill Road if this conditional use were to be granted?
There is off-street parking.
Off-street parking? Would there be any signage or anything indicating that this is an Airbnb?
No.
How do you plan to advertise the short-term rental?
Through the Airbnb app.
With regard to noise, is there any protocols or any rules you would put in place to help abate any issues with noise?
Well, I would ask that the guests follow, the noise ordinances that exist in our township currently.
You have a series of Airbnbs in the township, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, under 401.3, one of the requirements, 401.3, I should say, of the zoning ordinance is whether this proposed use, conditional use, would endanger the public health and safety if it were proposed. Aside from rental, is there any other use or any other plan to utilize this property?
No.
What's currently on the property?
There is a single family home and then a detached, I'll call it a workshop for lack of better terms.
How many bedrooms?
Currently there are 3 bedrooms.
If this was granted, would there be a limit on the number of people that could rent the property or use the short-term rental at one time?
Absolutely. So typically in all of our Airbnb setups, they're set up with either queens or king beds in each bedroom. So this particular property would be advertised as being able to host 6 occupants.
Okay. Would this proposed use deteriorate the environment in any way, meaning traffic congestion, anything like that?
I couldn't foresee anything like that happening.
Would there be issues or a limit on the number of vehicles that could be at the property at any one time?
In this situation, I don't think that you would have to impose that with 6 guests. There would be ample parking, and in all honesty, this particular property, the public road ends, and then the remaining of that is on my own property. I own 150 Hill Road and 163 Hill Road. They share property boundaries. So the public road ends. So in the event that there would be a few more cars, it wouldn't be on anybody else's property but my own.
No, this may seem a little silly, but I'm going to ask it anyway because these series of questions are outlined in the ordinance. Would this potential conditional use create any excessive dirt or dust in the area?
I don't think so.
Any smoke or any sort of air pollution issues?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Any glare or any bright lights or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Any excess vibrations or ground shaking issues along those lines?
And no.
Again, I know this seems a little out of place, but it's outlined in the ordinance, so we want to make sure we cover everything. Now, one of the other conditions within the ordinance is the harmonious use of the surrounding property. Can you describe your property on Hill Road and the surrounding area a little bit?
So I mean, we're rural. I think we're agriculturally zoned back there. I live on a dead end road with 3 houses in total. It's myself, and my neighbor Brian Brenneman. That property I think sits on about 1.5 acres, and then we own.
When you say that property, you talk about
the property that I'm requesting to be used as an Airbnb sits on about a 1.5 acre parcel. The parcel beside it, I believe, owned by Clay Cericio. I think you referenced it as 115 Hill Road. Is just vacant land, and then we own about 80 acres ourselves. So probably won't be bothering too many people back there.
So if this was granted, this would be in conformity with the general conformity, I should say, with the surrounding area.
Yeah, I mean, if it were a long-term rental or a short-term rental, I mean, you're going to have kind of the same impact, right? Like you're going to have people there living or staying for short periods of time. I would imagine it's probably less of an impact with the short-term rental because people aren't putting down roots. They're coming in. They're most likely visiting family, attending funerals, attending weddings at Lingro, or using our trail systems. Those are kind of like the standard for my guests.
Okay. Under 403.1, it asks about access to the property. We've kind of gone over this a little bit, but do you believe this would give any or cause any additional excess congestion or conflict with current traffic patterns in any way?
I do not.
What is the parking situation? I know we kind of delved into this a bit. I think you said off street. Roughly how many parking spots could this?
So I would say if you were parking cars strictly on the concrete driveway, 4. If you use the integral garage, 6.
And this, in your opinion, this wouldn't obstruct or impede the natural flow of traffic. Is that correct?
Correct.
You mentioned that there's a residential structure and a garage on the property. Is that correct?
Yes.
You plan on adding any other buildings or permanent structures on the property?
No.
I know this one's always a little silly, but I ask it anyway. Would this require any overland utilities or anything along those lines that would require an easement?
No.
If the Board of Supervisors, I should say, would impose any noise restrictions or anything upon your conditional use, would you have any objection or issue with that?
None whatsoever.
you understand that if this conditional use is granted, it would be strictly for the short-term rental use of the property. You understand that?
Yes.
So if you wanted to modify that use, you would have to come back to the board of supervisors and request a new or different conditional use.
So with that being said, obviously long-term rentals are not a conditional use. So it could essentially still be used as a long-term rental if I decided not to use it as a short-term rental. I'm not pigeonholing it into just simply being that.
I mean,
Correct.
it's
Yeah.
addressed in what's the conditional use itself and the accessory uses and everything, or what's in the ordinance. So we can't necessarily say you can't do it for that if it's not actually articulated in the ordinance, if that makes sense. But now that's also subject to whatever rental ordinances the township has as well. You understand that?
I do, yes.
Okay. And with that being said, too, you understand this conditional use would not circumvent or absolve you from any of the other township ordinances that are currently on the books.
I do, yes.
Good. It's about all I have for the applicant. Does anyone on the board have any questions?
Tim, I do have a handout just to kind of explain like who we are and what we do. One for each board member, one for you.
Yep.
Charlie, would you pass this? Would you mind? Sure. Gee, thank you.
And Jeremy,
That's just for you
if
guys.
you'd like to add anything as well, you can do so.
Yeah. I mean that's kind of the purpose of the handout there. It basically just states like who we are and what we do. My wife and I, as you mentioned earlier, operate or own and operate a series of Airbnbs in the township, right? I would say, overall, I think these are probably more advantageous to the township than long-term rentals. We have a lot more control over, who comes there, how long they stay, what they do. Generally, you're going to get higher end clientele when you rent these things out at, $200 to $250 a night. In all of our advertisements, we always, state that, no parties are permitted. So that's one thing we have. And the last time we were here, a gentleman for 639 Ice Pond had came in and asked about ATV use. He was concerned about that. So we made sure that was put into our ad as well. I think that the police could probably verify that they don't get called to any of my properties for wild parties or nuisances or complaints or drunk behavior or anything like that. I know we've never had a call. At least if we did, I'm sure Chief would have told me about it. And the good thing about these Airbnbs, guys, is that, we are a rural township that needs something to bring people here. And they need places to stay. The trail is going to bring $121 million, through our all the towns that it's associated with. We need to take a bite of that pie. What were my other points? I had a couple other ones.
Do you want to admit this?
Yeah, I would like that. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll dub this applicant's exhibit 1.
I guess the bottom line is there is a need for people to have short-term stays in our township and in our county. It is a pressing issue. Like, we don't have hotels, we don't have these things, and when people come, they need places to stay. So why not get them into Gilpin Township and let them spend their money here? Like, let them go to our bars, let them go to our restaurants, let them go to Leechburg, let them visit, all that we have to offer, and it also generates a bed tax for tourism and for the county. So it's a money generating tool for our county and for our tourism bureau as well.
Anybody? Is that all, Jeremy?
That is it.
You rest at this point?
I will rest my case.
Does anybody on the board have anything? John, anything you want to add? No?
I've got one question. You made the comment twice about it being better for short-term necessarily than long-term.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything in your application that vets these people in any manner as far as sexual predators or anything of the sort like that?
Great question. I can't speak if I know if they are a Megan's Law offender or not. So how that works through the Airbnb app is they're verified, right? So they have to go in, they have to put their identification in, they get verified through the app. And there's certain protections that we're offered through the app, from damages to other things. Now, as far as their criminal history, I'm not privileged to that. What I go off of is like, what kind of reviews do these people have, right? Like, if I get somebody that's like a 1-star review and they've been out there, I'm probably going to deny that. I am going to deny it because then I'm taking the risk of like bringing a knucklehead into the township, and also I'm going to risk, you know, the property as well. So, so we just go based off of verification from the app. You know, they are who they say they are. And then number 2, like, what kind of like reviews do they have from prior stays?
Okay.
I have just one, and I think you kind of already answered it. The bed tax, I'm assuming you're registered with Armstrong County, all of that, or will be upon completion of this.
So, Charlie, my understanding of that is that Airbnb extracts that out in
Okay.
part of it and then distributes that. And in all my talks with the commissioners, they just get like deposits from Airbnb.
Okay,
So they collect that tax and it gets distributed automatically.
gotcha. I was just curious. 'cause
I'm almost 99% sure that that's how that
that
happens.
sounds about right. I
Yes.
only ask because the one additional requirement is that you follow any county regulations, and that's the only county regulation I know of with short-term rentals. So,
Absolutely.
Okay. Anybody else on the board? All right, at this point, we would turn it over to anybody in the audience who may object or have a concern at this time. If you do so, please state your name and your address. And again, this is a proceeding of record, so make sure you speak slowly and don't talk at the same time as anybody else. Oh, yeah, you should.
Can I just do real quick?
Yeah,
and say
please,
you
please.
swear-
Yeah.
Jeremy, do you swear that everything you said prior to me swearing you in was the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Linda.
Sorry.
See no objectors or any concerns or comments at this time. Unless anybody else has something to add, we'll close the record at this time. Okay, thank you. All right. In 1 second.